Hello and welcome to the second instalment for the 2014-15 season of Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show, sponsored by Urtec on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. I'm your host, Dave Minear, and tonight we have a big show for all our listeners, talking through the results of the weekend's games versus Minnows Mariners. Before we go to the Northside residential interview with club stalwart and 200-plus game veteran Jason Parry, also premiership player. And then later in the show, during our Stellar Premium Service Junior segment, we will speak to our junior coordinator, under-15s coach and club sponsor, Darren Thorne. But first, let me introduce my co-host for this evening, life member, premiership player and club legend, Ian Purcell. How are you, Ian?
Yeah, evening, Vern. I'm very, very well, mate. What about yourself?
Mate, very well, and great to be back on another Monday night with your dulcet tones.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Absolute pleasure to be here. And you're looking dashing as usual there, Vern.
Mate, feeling comfortable. I've got the collar up tonight.
Got the sponsors out too there, buddy?
Yeah, Cookery Sports, fantastic clothes, Cookery. Wanneroo District Cricket Club obviously use them also, great club. So
and they turned up last week, mate, which is good signs.
Yeah, always a bonus, mate, when they're on time and they're there, so that's always good. But, because I don't want to get completely reamed by our fantastic president if they're not, or Thorny for that matter, who'll be on the show later on.
Correct.
Now, mate, let's discuss what happened over the weekend. Now, obviously, not as good as what we wanted to be talking about tonight, but the A-grade put on a pretty, below par performance on a fairly decent deck from all in sundry that was there, have told me. Not one of the great ones.
Yeah, you nail on the head again, Vern. Once more for you. Look, they probably. I admit a few of the shots I've seen earlier were probably a little bit. They went hard at the ball. Obviously, it's one-day cricket. It's what you've got to do. Probably got on the wrong side of a couple. A couple of shots probably couldn't have been there. But hey, look, they're going to. You live and die by the sword in these sort of games. So unfortunately, we only managed to rack up 118 there, winning the toss and batting. So yeah, look. Well, as we said, mate, touched on it. There wasn't too many to write home about, but probably really only Donovan Fryer with his 24 and Jace Parry with his 28. They were probably the only real, efforts in there from our lower order batsmen, which is good to see. Jason Parry, the old dog, who we'll talk to a bit later on, having another crack at his A grade in one day. So, yeah, look, like I say, they haven't got the Rockingham you wouldn't describe their attack as outstanding, but they're a good steady away attack, and I think they bowl to their strengths, and we unfortunately played to their strengths.
Well, I think the biggest tale of the day is obviously your top seven there have scored 38 runs, which is a little bit worrying with Charles top scoring there with 11. So I think, any day you give any club in this competition, as we've seen over the last couple of years, the A-grade comp's probably the tightest it's ever been in WA, for the amount of clubs we've got. And I think the thing is it's been, a really, really strong competition. It just proves you let your guard down just a little bit. And, that side, Rocky and Mandurah, were fantastic and took their opportunity.
Correct, yeah. Look, it was 7 for 47 at one stage. So, like I say, we did fight back very well, which is it's a good sign. But, look, after such an outstanding effort last week against the Gulls, look, to do that, it's probably not, it's a bit out of character for the lads. I think that's probably the best way I can describe it.
Oh, exactly. Hey, it's probably just a blip on the map anyway. I mean, and the reality is it's going to be a tough year for the boys this year. And, as I said, it's, we are the hunted now. So, it gives teams like Rocking and Mandurah a massive boost in confidence to know they can knock off the premiers from last year. So, mate, having a look at that bowling performance by us down there, mate, there were some really good stories in there. Do you want to take us through our Rocking and Mandurah innings, mate? And, what happened there?
Look, absolutely an outstanding effort in the bowling and the fielding was outstanding. Look, to restrict them, they ended up 9 for 119, so only just getting there in the end in 46 overs. Pretty exciting times down there, must have been the run chase. with your mate there, I think Vern with his 49 off 758 balls in Diamante there, isn't it? But look, Quelchie had his 10 overs, none for 25. Jackie Cat unfortunately injured there, just only bowling the one over. Donovan Fryer, none for 21, which is a great effort. And the old dog, Jace Parry, with his 4 for 20. an absolutely outstanding effort, that, isn't it, really? Robbie Richards, 5 overs, none for 20. Kyle Miller, once again, in some very good form with the ball. I think Kyle's pre-season has done him a world of good. He's obviously got a lot of confidence, and, just to get another 3 wickets there with his 3 for 26, and Charles just a cheeky little 1 over, 1 for none. So, look, probably a very, very good effort by the boys in the field, but unfortunately, like I say, if they had another, maybe another 30 or 40 runs to play with, it would have been a completely different story.
No, definitely, mate. I think the thing is, the one good thing we can take out of that is the performances of the old dog, Jason Parry, there. I mean, coming back in, he's had a bit of a hiatus from A grade. He's gone down as far as 3rd grade for a while there as well, so a fair bit of it. And I think from what we were talking about earlier, we worked out that he hasn't played A grade since Bayswater Morley last year, a one-day game. So, but before that, he reckons he doesn't really know. So we'll get more about that later. But it's quite an amazing, effort for him coming up and obviously going out there with a bat, 28 not out. And he is an opening bat in 2nd grade, he was. So, I mean, it's not like it's weird.
Correct.
And obviously then going out with the ball, 10 overs, 4 for 20, fantastic.
Yeah, look, it's great to see, isn't it? He's just one of those guys that still rolling around, just still got it, always had, from a young lad. Just runs in there, bowls there or thereabouts, and can bat. Good keen competitor. Still looks like a greyhound. Still running like one as well. The fella. He'll probably tell us a bit different a bit later. But yeah, look, great effort. And Christian. I'm not sorry, Christian. I was going to say there. Kyle with his bowling as well. There. Look, I think that's just another real positive for us.
Massive.
Like I say, look, at least we had a big crack. And that's all we could ever ask from the boys. Trying to defend a total like that.
Well, put yourself in Wayne's position now, mate. What would you be doing if going into this week? I mean, you don't want to hit panic stations. Obviously, we only got beaten, 9 down, and obviously the batting's what let us down. We all know that.
Yep.
What would your message to the boys be this week on the track?
Oh, look, I think it's quite a probably good time for this to happen to us, just to make sure then that they realise that no matter every single time you go out and play cricket, you've got to be at 100%. If you're not, opposition teams are going to get over you. It's a pretty cutthroat comp at the end of the day, Vern. So I'd be making sure that they just get on the track this week, continue to train hard, put it behind us, stay positive, and then keep getting on with it.
No, definitely, mate. And for Rocking and Mandurah, let's not discount that great win by them. And as I said, they've played 2 games so far this year, and they played both grand finalists in a row. So a pretty good effort. If they were offered 1 from 2 this year, I reckon they would have taken that at the start of the season. So.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Most teams would take that playing last year's grand finalists and premiers, wouldn't they? So.
Exactly, mate. Now, mate, while we're on it, I think it's probably a good time to go through the 2020 as well, because obviously we're on the A grade at the moment, so on the A grade train. So we may as well go on with it. It's probably not the best reading either, IJ. It's another slightly disappointing result for the boys to start off.
Mate, 2 less positive people than ourselves would probably be looking down upon this, Vern, wouldn't we? But we're not.
We won't at all, mate.
Look, the boys had their first of the T20 games on Sunday down at Floriat versus Ubi Dooby. Subiaco, no relation to the Waffle Premiers there. But, yeah, so look, Subi batted first, and they managed to compile a cheeky little 9 for 121 off their 20 overs, which is not a bad total in the T20.
130 is about par, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd suggest, especially like I say, too much more of a run of ball in this league is probably not too bad. Obviously, the higher leagues, the batter's a little bit better, and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, not a bad effort. But, like I say, Quelchie, pick of the bowlers again there with his little 4 for 22. Donovan Fryer, fronting up again after his Saturday. So that's an outstanding effort with his 1 for 21. Johnny Walters, just so good to see him get a game, isn't it? Look, 2 overs with his num for 16. Robbie Richards again, 1 for 10 off his 4. Kyle Miller, another wicket, he's 1 for 29. And Josh Quelch, who's another name there, which is outstanding to see a couple of our younger or less experienced players getting a crack there with his 1 for 17. So look, 9 for 121, not a bad effort all round there from us.
Johnny Walter, that's a great story. I mean, he was probably, I think it would have been 3 or 4 years ago, Purce, it would have been. He was pushing, I mean, he took 9 for 24, I think, against Mount Lawley in 3rd grade. And
you were there.
I was there, I was. And it was a fantastic effort. I mean, obviously, and he went up and I think he played a little bit of 2s, but he really probably hasn't hit the same heights. And to get the opportunity to go up, and even if it's 2020, it doesn't make any difference. And he's got an opportunity here because we have got injuries, so he can get up there and get that opportunity finally.
That's right. It's so good to see. Look, he's a great guy. Trains hard, plays hard. He's always up and at him. Paul Lucas medalist.
Correct.
Great to see.
Exactly. Very good player.
He was actually quite good when we talked to him last year.
It was great.
Yeah, which is really good to see. Look, he had a stint over in England, then didn't go this year. Was going to, and then didn't. So look, like a great effort from him. But Josh Quelch as well, really good to see. We don't always get these opportunities, might never get another opportunity again, such as that to play, but at least, he's had a crack and sees what it's all about, and he'll go back to seconds and keep working and trying. He's a big, strong boy,
Yeah, exactly.
Goals are right, and I'm sure that, Graham Quelch would have been fairly happy going down there and watch both of his boys play.
Oh, excellent. No, it's very good, and as I said, there are some upsides to it. I mean, the bowling of Kyle Biller this year so far has been absolutely fantastic, but Donovan Fryer looks like he's absolutely set, and he should have been playing A-grade for a while, mate. Looks pretty comfortable at that level, mate.
It's funny, we had big Adam Griffith, a good friend of ours, down there, when was it? Just before, probably about 4 weeks before the season started, and had a look and just said, look, Purce, don't worry about touching that kid. He knows what he's doing. He's bowling there or thereabouts. Really good shape, gets pretty good areas. Don't need to work on it. And that's pretty much the way he goes, isn't it? Our South African import.
Mate, no, he is, and he's a great fielder too. I mean, that's another massive point for him as well.
But probably should explain that we were short in the runs, Vern, before we start carrying on a little bit too much talking about our bowlers. And unfortunately, never our allotted 20 overs. We were 5 for 115 with Robbie Richards with his 33 and Bucky Rogers with his 39 with a pick of our batters, with Kyle Miller again chipping in with a little 17 at the end. But unfortunately, we fell just short there.
Quite amazing, mate, that we could be 5 down chasing 120. What were we? We were 1 for 60, or 1 for 60, or 1 for 62 here.
That's right.
And then not to be able to chase down the runs. It's quite amazing. You don't normally see that too often.
Yeah, they like I say, it's another one of those things, Vern, isn't it, where we maybe could have, got a couple more, a little bit of experience. But, I think what we probably need to take out of this game is the fact that we did have a couple of inexperienced players have had a bit of a go. And also, like I say, Bucky and Robbie got a couple up there at the start of the game, which is always helping for their confidence and form moving forward.
No, and obviously their bowlers are fairly, they've got a few guys there that have played a lot of A-grade cricket too, Subi. So they've obviously bowled quite well. From what I'm looking at here, I obviously wasn't down at the ground on Sunday, but it obviously looks like they must have bowled fairly well. So
might have made it if they were playing out at Lilac, Vern, but otherwise a bit far away out there at Satellas, weren't you?
Exactly, mate. A little bit of a trek. Now, mates, we've got the second grade. Now, this was another interesting part of the weekend for us. Take us through the results for that, mate.
Yeah, look, a good win from the boys. Good to see Noddy's lads get back on the in the winners' circle. Look, they've wouldn't say they went to pot in the first game, but they certainly didn't quite get there. But look, like I say, it's just a great effort. The boys, they managed to rack up 205 again with Brendan Murray. Good to see him getting his 40-odd, and the old Atkinson, we can't seem to hold this lad back with his 50. So little Gra there with his another 50 for him, which is an outstanding effort. And young Matty Spores with his 15 as well, which isn't too bad because that's his age. So to be playing the second grade, that's sort of going all right. But yeah, look, a great effort from the boys to end up with the 205 there.
No, definitely, mate, and always good to see Vichy McGee getting back there because he was playing A-grade towards the end of last year, obviously, and then got injured. And, great to see him out there, and Brendan Murray, because you're looking at two guys there that will play a lot of A-grade cricket for Wanneroo Districts.
Yeah, definitely, and it's just really is good to see Mitch McGee back, isn't it? Because back from his back, I suppose, if that's the right way to describe
exactly,
it, Vern.
mate.
Yeah, so like I say, it's just great to see there are a couple of real young guns in our club. Yep. And hoping to, especially, like I say, Mitch finished in, 200s last year?
Correct.
Yeah, so look, like I say, it's good to see him out there playing again. But look, then we had a bit of a roll at them, and we managed to restrict them for 9 for 200 after their 50, which is a great effort. Pretty close game down there at Lark Hill.
You're not wrong.
With the pick of the bowlers was Johnny Walters again. He got 3 for. Joshy Quelch got 2, and Bondi and Brendan Murray got the other ones. But old Johnny Walters and Josh Quelch bowled very, very well in the end, according to Noddy, to help them win this game. So look, a great effort from the boys there in the twos, and well done.
And hence why they got debuts the next day playing in the 2020 with the ones. So well done to those boys. It was great effort. And as I said, the twos were a bit of a shining light there over the weekend. And IJ, your thoughts on that second grade side? Do you reckon that'll change too much?
Yeah, probably a little bit. I think when, we've also, it's a pity that Summers, McPhee are both out injured as well at the moment. Those sort of guys will probably come back in. I noticed Jacob Johnson's name wasn't mentioned there, which is a bit strange for me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I only just noticed that before.
Yeah. I thought he was playing, but there you go. It's good to see me. It's good to see we're on the ball there, Vern. Look at us go.
We're doing well, mate. We're doing well.
Yeah. So look, there's a couple of blokes there, which it's just good to see. There's a fair bit of competition for spots in that team. Probably the past since let's go back to 2006-7 season. I think when they won it last in the seconds. But maybe even earlier, that 2005-6 even. But since then they've probably struggled a little bit the seconds. There's always a lot of talent. Just sometimes they find it a bit harder. They're the guys that are in between, almost trying to play a grade. It's a bit of a tough grade sometimes because some of the blokes, aren't playing for themselves, but also looking to try to get up to A grade. So, yeah, look, it can be a bit tough, and it's just hopefully, like I say, Noddy can keep them together this year, and they can win more than they lose, I reckon.
Yeah, it's definitely the key. You need a good leader in that second grade side because obviously they're pushing the guys up towards the A grade, and they're the future of the club. So, excellent performance by the boys. Now, mate, on the third grade.
Yeah, look, another win, Vern. 2 in a row. Look at us go tonight, eh? We're going all right, aren't we?
We are, mate.
And look, great effort from the boys down there at Kingsway. Look, we managed to skittle them for 94. We won the toss again. Cam Mack, 2 from 2 from young Cam, which is a great effort, and showed some very good initiatives, and now it's in the field, Cam, so I think it's another good pick. And big Stevie Jennings running in and letting them go, bowling very, very, very quick, but unfortunately he bowled his 7 overs, done for 20. But Bailey Nylander, an absolutely outstanding spell there with his 9 overs, 4 for 13, was on a hat-trick as well at one stage there, and unfortunately couldn't get it. And Christian's brother also there with his 4 for 15, a great effort. And Scotty Pearson, 2 for 24. So, look, a great effort from the boys to restrict the Mariners to 94. And in reply, mate, we ended up at 6 for 97, Vern. So, look, a great effort from that. Old Alfie Peters with his 30. And Cam Mack brought him home with his 21 not out. So, look, a great effort from the lads there in the threes.
Yeah, slimmed down version too, just quietly. He's got that massive beard now. He's really slimmed down. He was telling me the other week that he's lost somewhere in the vicinity of 20 kilos. So quite amazing to see the transformation in the big fella.
Sladecki-esque, really, isn't it?
He's the former fat man.
The former fat man. Yeah, no, it's good to see. Like I say, if he nipped that beard off, he'd probably drop another 5 kegs, wouldn't he,
Mate, but that's excellent news about the boys there. We've got some great young bowlers coming through. And, like you said, mate, Stevie Jennings, great to see him still back there. Nylander, Smith, both taken 4 for is unbelievable, and especially for 13 and 15 respectively. And Scotty Pearson recovered from the 3 Zacks into the lake on the week before and come back with 2 for 24. So, I mean, it's a great performance, and young Connor Moses there as well. So, well done to the boys, and 3 catches to Kingy there. So that's another good means he's on his. That's right. He's on his game. So well done there, and Dan Peters, welcome back, mate. It's great to see you in the runs, and he's scored a lot for this club. So it's he played a lot of second grade cricket. So good to see him back.
Yeah, good fellow, isn't he? So.
He is, mate. He is. All right, IJ. Now the 4th grade, mate.
Yeah, look, the 4s minus Carney Vernon was a big story for the week. Poor old Joel, if you're out there, Joel, mate, hope you're feeling better, buddy. You picked up with the world's case of man flu, and as we all know, man flu, sometimes you should be in hospital. But
correct.
He unfortunately on the morning of the game couldn't make the hike down to Rockingham, so they ended up actually picking young Bailey Richards from the under-15s because they were down there. He actually played as well, which is another great effort. But look, the boys struggled a bit, probably without Carney's leadership, which is obviously would have helped. Look, the Rockingham they batted first. They ended up with 155 with Yanni Estel picking up a cheeky little 4-fer. Jimmy DiCarlo got a couple. Braden Quinn got 1, and Bailey picked up 1 as well. So look, a pretty good effort there from the boys. But interesting little name down there at 11 in Mark Wasley, Vern.
Mark Wasley, yes, blast from the past.
Former North Perth.
He was.
Player. That's how long ago he was playing.
Jeez, I can't remember the last time I played against him. It was that many years ago.
Yeah, did he get angry on the field by any chance?
Might have got fairly shirty, yeah, I reckon.
You could ask him which game he got angry in. He wouldn't be able to tell you because I'm pretty sure it was every single one. No. But apparently, a bit of controversy corner down there with his wicket. But anyway, we'll worry about that for another day. But unfortunately, we ended up with 136 in reply with Braden Myers with a 50 and 8 and Fawcett with 20 with the 2 pick of the batters there. But look, unfortunately, probably lost a little bit with the leadership there in Carney, and he was sort of fuming at himself for getting crook, but you look a bit of an unfortunate effort there. But hopefully the boys will bounce back next week, Vern.
No, definitely. And as I said, last year it was pretty late on when we lost our first game. I think it was against June de Loop up at Iluka, and that was with 2 rounds to go, if I remember correctly. So. Yep. Good to lose one early on, I reckon, because I think...
Get it out of the way.
Exactly. And it was probably a good thing that they lost and Carney wasn't there just quietly. So
yeah, probably for the boys, wouldn't it? You know, Captain Grumpy or Minnie. We can't call him Minnie, Annie, can we, mate? That's
exactly.
He doesn't like that. So.
No, we can't do that to him, mate. He's too nice a bloke. Mate, what would you like to do now? Would you like to have a little look at the ladders? Because obviously there'll be a few little changes from last week. So if you can take us right through to the 4th grade, that'd be great.
Yeah, mate, like to say, look at these ladders, a couple of little changes for us. The A grade is still currently sitting 4th, which is basically pretty good realistically, you know, for we're the top team that has won one and lost one, with 3 teams yet to lose one in Joondalup, Claremont and Uni. So we're currently 4th in the first. In our seconds after our win, mate, we've ended up at 9th there. So bit of room for Noddy and the boys to keep on shooting up. In the thirds, after their second consecutive victory, they're currently sitting 4th, which is a great effort. And the 4s are currently sitting 4th as well. So everyone's 4th, pretty much, Vern, bar the seconds that are 9th. So still going all right at the start of the season, aren't we?
Mate, definitely, and we can't read too much into it. It's pretty early days here at the moment, so hopefully the boys can all keep to that top end of the ladder this year and put on another massive performance, especially after last year coming runners-up in the club championship. We'd like to go one further this time, and I don't think we've done that since our last premiership in 2010-11, if I remember correctly, or 11-12. When was our last premiership? 10, 11, just winning them.
2 seasons ago.
Yeah, 2, 3 seasons.
Do the math. Yeah. I don't know.
But no,
hey,
in all...
tell you what we'll do, we'll ask Paz.
Yeah. Hey, he'd remember every game. All right, guys. Well, what we're going to do next, we're going to go to a quick word from our all-important station sponsors. When we get back for our Northside residential interview, this week we'll have Jason Parry, as discussed earlier, on the line. Back in just a few moments.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Urtec Holdings, Getting It Right and On Time. Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood, contact Andrew Amos today. Sunwise Outdoor Living, for all your patio, gazebo and alfresco needs, contact Rob Fairchild. MTM Physiotherapy, specialising in sports injuries, located in Duncraig. And Stella Premium Services, gardens, parks and lawns, contact Cliff Astall today. Station sponsor.
You don't have to be a Shano, Watto, Dizzy or Tubby to play cricket. It's a game for everyone, and you can play it anywhere. From the backyard to the beach. It's fun, gets you fit, and gives you the chance to be part of a team. And with new formats, including shorter games, it's now even easier to play. So whether you've never played before or haven't played for a while, now's the time to take up cricket. Become part of the Australian cricket team and join your local club or centre. Visit playcricket.com.au and get ready to play cricket.
Station sponsor. If you're a tradesperson, Kennards Hire has the tools and equipment you need, serviced and ready to go. If you're a DIY, Kennards Hire has amazing stuff that goes cool. If you're a tradesperson, Kennards will give you the right advice to get the job done on time and on budget. If you're a DIY, Kennards will show you how to use it. Excellent. So make Kennards Hire your choice for equipment hire, because
Kennards makes your job easy.
Station sponsor.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood. Contact Andrew Amos today. Jets Wanneroo, 24-hour fitness workout on your terms. Harden Eastern Conti, accounting, taxation, finance and business planning. Contact Murray McGee today. Subway Manly, located in the Kingsway Shopping Complex. And Resource Instrumentation and Electrical, WA-owned electrical contracting company specialising in the HVAC industry. Contact Darren Thorne. Station sponsor.
Welcome back to Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. Now on the line we've got, for our Northside residential interview, we have club stalwart, 250 plus game player, 250, around, he'd have to be easily. Paz, how you going, mate?
Very well, Dave. Very well.
Oh, that's good, mate. Mate, it must have been a fantastic feeling to be back out there playing in the ones, mate, on the weekend, and also, mate, holding the team together, basically.
It was good to have another call up into the ones. I wouldn't have thought I'd probably get another game at all any stage, so it was good to have Gaz to go over east for a weekend to give us a chance. Yeah.
Paz Purse, mate, how are you?
Very well, Ian. How are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely outstanding, thank you. Hey, mate, Vern and I were just talking off air before, and we were just wondering if you would let all our listener know, how many games have you played? How many A-grading games have you played? And when was the last time you played A-grade as well?
Number of games, I'm not too sure exactly. It's, 260 something. I'm not too sure.
Amazing.
Number of A-grade games, I don't know, probably, almost 80, I think.
Yep.
And last game was just a one-dayer early last season, about this time of round 2 last year against Bayswater. Yeah.
Mate, this next question, mate, is a bit of a one because I know you've been around the club forever. Mate, you would have been there when you would have seen coaches Noel Knight, Wayne Andrews, Ian Polder, Brett Mulder, Ian Kevin, Andy and Wayne. How would you describe the differences between all those coaches, and what has Wayne also brought to the club that we think has made us one successful last year and hopefully continue on that this year?
All the difference between all those coaches, gee whiz, I don't know. Hammer liked a fielding drill that was pretty similar to football.
None of us forget that one, mate. None of us forget that one.
Yeah. I know in pre-season, Hammer he used to like us to run a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of guys weren't keen on that.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Like the bloke you're talking to, Paz.
Blokes you're talking to.
I don't know. All the coaches had their positives and all that kind of stuff. I guess the thing that's really stood out with Wayne, he's had a lot of help with Kingy as well. Yep. A lot of the coaches I know, back when if it was like, say, Polt's coaching, it was basically Poltz. He was running everything, so he didn't have an awful lot of help, like in the coaching aspects. But like nowadays, we've got batting coaches that attend our training a lot more, and that helps out Wayno, and Kingy takes care of all the fitness side of things, and Shields, he started last week with the fielding. So Wayno's got a lot of help, and that's good. That lets him sort of talk to the players a lot more, and he's really keen on, big on communicating with the guys and see how they're going, asking them questions, getting them to think about their game a bit more. I guess other coaches might have been able to have a chance to do that, but with them just being them by themselves primarily, that basically only really allowed them to really focus on A grade. I know that was complaints, or guys would often say that in the lower grades that the coaches only ever look at the A grade, but it's pretty hard to look at all 44. I think Wayno gets a greater chance of doing that because of a lot of help that he has now.
No, definitely. And I mean, I think that's been a massive change in it. Would you say that the professionalism in A grade cricket and club cricket in general has gone up since back in the the early 2000s, the end of the 90s sort of time, Paz?
Well, I think so. At our club, definitely. I mean, guys going out having a drink beforehand. I think it's okay if guys do that, maybe 1 or 2 drinks, and it's probably guys are a bit more tolerant if we're winning games, which we were sort of in the late 90s and early 2000s, and we didn't have a lot of success probably about 6-7 years ago. So if you're doing that kind of thing and you're not winning games, guys get a little bit annoyed by that, and obviously the tolerance is a little bit less to it. So, and now we're winning games, we're setting standards, and even competition for spots is pretty hard for the boys and ones, and guys want to keep their spot in the team because we're winning. So,
no, exactly.
So it's good to see, and obviously a lot of guys are looking at maybe making that next step. So obviously that professionalism needs to occur for them to maybe play a little bit better and make that next step. Yeah.
No, much agreed, mate. If you had to pick one person that's been the most influential over your cricket career and your journey, Paz, who would that be?
Oh, gee whiz.
All the big questions, mate. They're all here for one night only.
Sorry, mate. I don't remember gee whiz. Who was he?
Depends on which stage, Obviously, when I first started out, I was probably an old man. Then you get to a point where, I don't know, you start looking at guys a bit close, and I don't know, guys that you're playing with as you get a bit higher. Obviously, Mike Huss was one when I was like 16, 17, and I don't think I was the only fella there, but like Huss was obviously the benchmark, and he's just such an amazing player. And then when I started playing A's, I guess guys like Dave Huss, because he's pretty influential and good player, and plenty to talk about. And but he was always very helpful, and he always wanted to know how you're doing, and and probably more so. I don't know now. I don't know. I'm not too sure now who's an influence on my career. I don't know. It's probably my wife, actually, because
I was about to say, mate, you got that right. You got that question right.
Well said, Paz.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Hey, Paz, you know, you obviously have seen the A-grade cricket over both centuries, actually, pretty much. What sort of team do you reckon was better as a team? Would you think the team that won the One Day back in 2001, or it's the team that won it last year at Wanneroo?
Oh, I don't.
Not trying to be controversial, buddy, but you know.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It'd be a pretty good game if we could get guys to play against each other.
No, it would be, and especially watching Matty Mason kicking off the side screen, mate, and Thorpe moving him about 25 metres.
Yeah. It's hard to say which bowling line would have been better. I think the bowling lineup, maybe 10, 12, back in 2001, would have been a quicker bowling lineup, obviously with Mace.
Yeah.
And Thorpe. Gaz and Cattrall and Quilty are pretty sharp themselves. I think Cal and Mace would have had maybe a yard on them.
And then you chuck Wes in for bowling as well.
Back in his heyday.
Wes is pretty handy. And then with the batting, I don't know, we had Mike occasionally, but Dave was pretty good. But I don't know, I reckon maybe the batting lineup currently is probably a bit more consistent.
Yeah.
Yep.
A bit more depth there. So with guys like JR and Jake and Richo and even Kyle lately, you know, probably a bit more consistent down the order, whereas I know back in 2001 we relied a bit on Dave to get those big scores and the rest of us sort of, you know, chipped in. So I don't know. It'd be pretty difficult to say who would be the better team.
Exactly. No, it's a tough one, mate.
Very diplomatic.
That's why we're throwing the big ones at you, mate. You know,
Good work, yeah.
That's why they pay you the big money, Paz. No, just kidding.
Do they?
We must have missed that one. Mate,
That's right.
Mate, having a look at the future now a little bit instead of looking in the rear view, what are your hopes over the next year or so? Are you going to keep playing? Are you going to keep going for as long as you possibly can?
Well, I've tried to. Started pre-season. To be honest, I was maybe thinking that I don't know if I even play this season, but it's just so hard to get into the swing of it. And like Nathan Henry said, you know, because he was finding it a bit hard as well. You know, getting to training and working full time, it's a bit hard. But once you get into the swing of it and cricket starts to become your routine again, and obviously the fitness levels come up to speed, and then you're a bit back to par with the rest of the boys, then it's not so difficult. So I don't know. It's hard to say. On a Sunday morning, I'm thinking maybe that's it. I'm done for, because Sundays are a bit tough sometimes. But you know, on days like Saturday, when you're out there playing with the guys and you're contributing and you're helping the team, you know. I don't know, you feel like you could play for another 6-7 years, but obviously there's a shelf life, and I don't know, obviously maybe I would like to play obviously the rest of the season and ideally next year, but we see how things go. But,
no, definitely, mate.
That's as long as I'm contributing, I guess. I mean, I don't want to be in the team and sort of ticked on, you know, as a guy who has experience but, you know, gets 10 runs every week. It's not really contributing or helping the team. So as long as I'm helping the team win games, then I'd like to keep playing, yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Hey, mate, last year yourself and Tiff also invested in a business, mate. How's things running along there?
Tiff's business is going along nicely.
Where is it, mate? Where is it?
It's in Rollystone. Well, it's in Kelmscott, but they call themselves Rollystone Animal Hospital. It's sort of like, it's close to Rollystone, and it's in amongst Kelmscott and Araluen and all those kind of areas. So, it was a small business to start with when they bought it. It was only been around for about a year or so, and Tiff and her friend Yoko have really, grown that a lot. So we're making a little bit of money, which is good to start with a new business. So obviously
it's always a bonus.
Yeah, it's a bonus. So no high hopes to start with, you know. But obviously, as the business grows and gets older, and they get a greater word around the community, then obviously, you know, to make a bit more of a profitable business in the future years ahead. And so it's going well. It takes up a lot of her time, but
oh mate, and there's a lot of cricket
know that
too.
To start with, yeah. But
no.
you know, I'm busy on Saturdays with cricket, so it sort of cancels out our Saturdays there. But makes Sundays a bit more important.
It does, mate. It does. Yeah. We all know that, mate. We all get into that part of life, I can tell you. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on tonight. And as I said, mate, you are a club legend. You're going to be probably, I reckon, the first guy to hit 300 games at the club, which will be a massive honour. I know we've still got a couple of seasons to go, but I put you down for it. I definitely think you will.
Paying $1.02 that, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon it's paid $1.02. No third dividend. Mate, honestly, we really appreciate you taking the time out and having a chat with us tonight, mate, because I know you're a busy man. And, mate, have a lovely evening. And Tiff, looking after you and letting you play, mate, it's just a good thing. And good luck for the rest of the year, buddy.
All right, cheers, Dave. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, boys.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks.
Yeah, look, he is a absolute legend, been around forever, Paz, and still, like we said earlier, mate, still looking like a racehorse and obviously still going all right, isn't he?
Oh, mate, he's still fit too. I think that's half the thing. He hasn't had all the Joel Charles-style injuries, the calves and stuff like that starting to go yet. And, I'm just going to throw this. I'm just going to throw this one out there, Vern. I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe Paz has looked after himself a little bit better before a game than maybe Joel did. I think that's...
ice bars and things like that. And Joel probably tried to stretch, say, instead of doing ice bars. Maybe just something like that. I'm just saying.
He was doing different ice baths. But the thing was, I think the ice baths that Jolie grew up on were the same ones you and I did as well, mate. But
maybe. Maybe with him, but yeah, I don't know.
But no, it's, as I said, it's a fantastic thing to have a guy at your club that all the young guys can rock up and have a look at and say, well, hang on, this bloke's been playing at this sort of level for, so many years now. And I mean, he's basically, especially over the past 3 or 4 years, he's really gone up and down the grades wherever he's been needed, never whinged, not sat there and I mean, Reefy might have been a bit upset at times because I think he thinks he was up in the ones most of the time. But the thing is that you never hear it from Paz. And the thing is, he always just gets on with it. Whatever grade he plays in, he gives it his best. He has played in premierships, I think, in 3 different grades, which is just quite.
I'm going to go out there on a limb and say he's played all 4.
Even in a 4th grade, you reckon?
I think he played in the 4s. Yeah, should have asked him.
Actually, you know what? I think he did too.
He played 4s, 3rds. He was in the 2nds, and he's played the 1 day. Yeah,
which is just an astonishing record. And I mean, to be in our first A grade premiership in 2001 as well, a massive effort. And I mean, the man can't be spoken any more highly of. And as I said, I mean, he is the game's record holder.
A grade hat trick.
He has, hasn't he? He's got
should have won his first game too if he get his front foot behind the line.
Yeah. Oh, did he bowl a no? Did he?
Yeah.
Who were you playing?
Claremont Netherlands, and Adam Lilly we had 2 for Adam Lilly's faced up, and he's gone back. Salmon Trout and the old refs. There he is down the old one arm out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Back then, he probably thought, I'll get another 35,000 chances to do this, so it won't really matter. Yes. But no, absolute champion and great to have him on the show tonight. All right, guys, well, what do you want to do next, IJ? Do you want to go have a look at our next guest, or would you like to go through maybe some of these junior results here today? Because it'd be quite good to give our listeners a little bit of a, so we can go on and have a chat with Thorny about the obviously the fixtures on the weekend and everything like that. So if you can take us through the results for the 17s down, please, sir.
Mate, I most certainly will, Vern. And Brendan Danaher's under-17s continued on their winning way
Brendo.
On the weekend. Old Brendo there. He does a great job down there. And we won the toss. Corey Roccaccioli, who spoke a little bit better when there's no microphones on him actually on the week, which is quite a good effort from Corey. It's quite surprising because he never can shut the man up. But anyway,
he would have gone red right then, I reckon. At home, mate, he would have gone bright red,
as he should have too. And he, won the toss and we put them in and. Look, they were cruising along. The first pair were going okay, actually, at number 29, and probably the Iron and Gravy were probably throwing them around a little bit. And then old Banksy come on, and he managed to stem the flow, and we ended up skittling for 110 in the end. Look, pretty good effort from Dylan there with his Dylan Banks, state under 17 squad player at the moment, with his 3 for 20. Kurt Monaghan. Now, this is a bit of a story for us, Vern, with his 4 for 15. Got 5 for 2 first week. Had 4 for 2 at one stage, so he would have had 9 for 4 for the season, and then had a fairly easy chance that was shelled, and unfortunately they ended up squeezing a few more runs out. But the great man himself, Corey Roccaccioli, with his 2 for 14, so went at Skittling for 110, and then we were none for 30 overnight. And
5 maidens there, just quietly as well, with Corey, which is a fantastic effort as a skipper. 9.2 overs, 5 maidens, look, 2 for 14.
Bowled well. Obviously, the skipper bowled himself the most amount of overs.
Of course.
Picked up that pretty quick, didn't he?
Dylan Minear tax.
We could rattle them all off. Stewie Kenny as well is another one for us.
Gluey? Full glue. Big glue. Gluey. There's a blast from the past.
We'll leave them right alone.
Warmy Kite. Warwick Height.
Oh, Walker.
Walker.
Yeah, remember that? That's a good one.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, we ended up 9 for 146 when Brendo said, that'll do us, boys. Give it the old, let's have a bit of a trundle at him. And, with the pick of the bats, Lockie McLean with his 29. Justin Henry, outstanding effort with his 27. Corey with his 20 to follow up his twofer. And Braden Hudson with his 30 not out there in the end. So, look, a pretty good effort. Chucked them back in, and we end up having them 7 for 98. In the second dig, which is some good bonus points. And just another cheeky little 3 for 13 from young Kurt, who currently has the bowling figures in 2 rounds this season of 12 wickets for 30 runs. So, look, another great win from Brendo's lads there, and they are currently sitting on top of the under-17s ladder there, Vern. So, look, Brendo's boys, an outstanding effort.
No, it definitely is, and I think it's a bit more positive this year. I mean, we've had a couple of lean years, I think, in the 17s, and probably not as where we normally used to be. I mean, we're always in the finals. And without floating our own boat, I think we've always been very strong there. And our juniors is what we pride ourselves on. So he's obviously doing a good thing there, Brendo.
Yeah, they only missed out by a game last year.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's Brendan's sort of second year, and so he's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. And he's got a bit of a batting and bowling coach, and his 2 assistant coaches are helping him out, which also, like what Paz was saying earlier, frees him up to sort of get in the heads of these kids, because some of them need it. But down at Rockingham, where all the
Rockingham,
one of the 15s were, they
Lark Hill, the lovely Lark Hill establishment,
the very lovely Lark Hill, as we were discussing earlier on the way down here, Vern.
Exactly.
They actually all went down and stayed at Silver Sands, the 15s and the parents and all that. So they had quite the weekend out down there.
Okay.
Pretty good effort. But and the boys probably struggled a little bit with the ball in the first game. And they managed to, but this game they managed to bring it back as they skittled Rockingham for 101 with the pick of the bowlers, old Benny Doolan there with his 5 for 24. Old Dools with his 5 for 24. It's a great effort. Young Jordan Slattery with his 1 for 6 was a very good effort. Luke Cheshire was, again, slightly disappointing. Didn't get another wicket. Had a little bit of a crack at me last week, old Lukey Cheshire. Just trying to say that, because I just told it as it was. I said he didn't bowl well, and he told me, he goes, Purce, I'll get 5 for next week, and you'll tell me, but still let me down, but that's okay. Tristan Hobley with his 2 for, and Whitehurst as well with his 2 for 14. So a very good effort with the boys with the ball there, but unfortunately with the bat, they were found a bit wanting and ended up getting skittled for 91. So a very, very disappointing effort, but Emil Vandermeer was pick of the batters there with his 40. And look, like I say, but probably should give a little bit of a shout out there to Lukey Cheshire, who managed to get 22 with the bat. Did a very, very good job with the bat, and hopefully he can bring it along with the ball next week.
Well, I think you're selling a bit short there, mate. At 9 overs, none for 18 as well. So I mean, he bowled obviously quite well and economically. So I mean, that's a good effort. But mate, Dools the dominator, just quietly, dominator Dools, whatever you prefer. 5 for 24. 11 overs, 3 maidens.
Great effort, really, isn't it?
Mate, it's amazing to see these boys, and young Hobley and Whitehurst also chipping in with 2. So
yeah, look, good effort there, really. For the bowling was well, according to Thorny, but we can also have a bit of a chat with him and ask him about that after the hour. But also in the second dig, mate, I must mention that my little boy Lukey Cheshire did get 2 for 15. So and Bailey Richards with his 2 for 10 after. By all accounts, Bailey was performed very well in the force down there and quitted himself quite well, Dave.
Oh, excellent, mate. And I think the other thing there is young Jordan Slattery. Great to see a Slattery back at the club. Hopefully there'll be two new ones very shortly. And as I said, their father was probably the best batsman I ever saw. I might have told him that once or twice over
or 20 times.
Maybe 20.
One fateful night at the club. And in a taxi on the way back to yours.
Yeah, he just runs a mile, doesn't he, Slats? But
Mitch is also in the 13s, Vern as well.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? So.
And I mean, both up the club, so it's excellent to see those sort of names. All right, IJ, now going on to the, we've got no other results there, mate. There were no 13s,
that's all good, mate. No, they haven't started yet. They start this week, I think, if I am right there.
No worries, mate. Now, just a quick one, just so we can have a look. In the so on the ladder in the under 17s, obviously we're top at the moment, and then in the 15s we're 1-1 and sitting in 10th. So
drawn and one.
Drawn and one. Sorry, drawn and one. That's right. Washed out. Sorry, I do apologise.
No need to, Dave.
I should do a bit more reconnaissance on my paperwork here.
That's what I'm here for, mate.
Beautiful, mate. Now, what we're going to do next, guys, we're going to go to a quick word from our all-important station sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to have the great, and I do say this without going too lightly, the great Darren Thorne coming on to have a little chat with us about the juniors. We'll be back in just a few moments.
G'day, Simon Kadich here for the Rigging Shed. You know, to get to the top level of anything, you need reliability and consistency. The Rigging Shed has been one of WA's top order performers for more than a decade, specialising in providing lifting gear to the state's crane and lifting industry. If you need quality gear, repair, testing and maintenance, they can do it. And if you need best practice, the Rigging Shed has it. Reliability and consistency. That's the Rigging Shed since 2001.
The Rigging Shed, 53 Prosperity Avenue, Wangara, station sponsor.
UltimateSportsMemorabilia.com.au have all your officially licensed AFL merchandise covered. No matter what team you barrack for, there's a memorabilia piece for you. And with free shipping with every purchase, there's no excuse not to buy now. Station sponsor UltimateSportsMemorabilia.com.au now have the AFL team can cooler fridges in stock as well to keep the drinks cold during the game. UltimateSportsMemorabilia.com.au, where all sports' greatest days and memories live forever.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Urtec Holdings, Getting It Right and On Time, Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood. Contact Andrew Amos today. Sunwise Outdoor Living, for all your patio, gazebo and alfresco needs, contact Rob Fairchild. MTM Physiotherapy, specialising in sports injuries, located in Duncraig. And Stella Premium Services, gardens, parks and lawns. Contact Cliff Astall today. Station sponsor.
Welcome back to Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. Now we have our second special guest tonight, obviously on the show, and really great to have him here. Thorny, how are you, mate? Darren Thorne.
Yeah, g'day, Dave. Good, mate.
Sounded very serious there. Oh, mate, lovely to have you on. Very serious there. It sounds like the owner of Resource Electrical getting instrumentation. I should get that right, shouldn't I?
Correct.
I should know by now, Thorny, shouldn't I, mate? Mate, you've been involved in the club now for a while, mate. You know, a few years now, and mate, are you really enjoying it? Are you enjoying all these new roles and obviously looking after the juniors?
I am, and obviously this year we've taken it a step further and taken on the coaching role of the 15s as well, which I'm thoroughly enjoying.
Thorny, Purcell here, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good, man.
Hey, mate, I was just going to ask you about that, actually. Like saying, now that your junior setup's probably just changed a little bit with you taking on the added responsibility of being the coach, and also you completing your Level 2 certificate in coaching this year. How have you found it having to look after them after the part-time job of looking after the 14s last year?
Oh, good. Look, you know, I've been around with these boys for a few years now, and getting to know them, and hopefully we can extract the best out of them. So yeah, looking forward to the challenge.
Mate, a little bit disappointing result in the weekend.
I was. Look, to be honest, it wasn't probably the best track going around that we played on. Really,
it's the first time I've never heard that. But we've got to be careful, mate. Got to be careful saying that about them.
Correct.
Yes.
But you know, look, it came down. We fell short by 10 runs. Some disappointing efforts there with the bat. But look, you know, the boys know where they went wrong and know what they've got to work on. So we're looking forward to round 3.
Mate, do you think it's a bit hard for some of the boys at this time of year, as we've previously discussed, for them to come from the indoor nets and having 8 or 10 weeks of pre-season on the indoor nets to actually only having 1 or 2 quick hits on the outdoor nets?
Yeah, it probably is, and you know it's all right if you're playing on a nice flatty, but when you played on something like we did on the weekend, you know we probably come unstuck because we haven't had a lot of time out on the turf nets.
Thorny, going forward, mate, in the over the time you've been here and looking forward as a club, what things have we changed a little bit since you got involved, obviously with the juniors, to sort of make it run a little bit better and a little bit more clarity?
I think interacting between the juniors and seniors is obviously a big key thing, and we need to make sure that happens moving forward. And I think, from what I can gather before I was there, that didn't happen quite as much as it has been the last few years. And obviously that's the goal, is to integrate all that into one. So, no, I think we're headed down the right path, mate.
Hey, also, mate, you've got 4 of your boys in the WACA setup as well, is that correct?
We have, yes.
Yeah.
So, 4 guys there and, expecting big things out of them this season. So, they probably feel a little bit of pressure there as well, but, they've got that challenge ahead of them.
And, mate, you've actually been down and seen the training, very, very intense for under 15, for 14-year-olds in sport, isn't it? Do you want to just let us know a little bit what the training's been like for the boys down at the WACA?
Oh, it has been, and, it's probably just a step down from what the state 17s and those guys have been involved with. But, WA is the first state to get on board to get these kids in the system at a young age. And, look, hopefully state cricket will benefit from it moving forward.
Having a look at the guys that you've got currently under, in your under 15s and even younger, Thorny, who are some real standouts, 4 or 5 that, and without blowing up their own trumpet, I mean, just...
Or blow their trumpet up.
Or blow their trumpet anyway, it doesn't matter. Some of the boys that are, for us senior guys to look out for, who probably, a lot of the senior guys obviously don't get to see a lot of the junior cricket as well, so it's good for us to know some of the names to look out for.
Oh, look, obviously, starting with the 17s, we've got Matty Spores, who's had a couple of games of twos the last few weeks, and is a clear standout. And you head into your bowlers there, Dylan Banks, Elijah Gravestock, and then stepping into the 15s, we've got our four guys in the state system: Emil Vandermeer, Tristan Hobley, Luke Cheshire, and my young fella Connor. So, and then into the 14s, Caden Eaton, probably Dion Billington.
Yeah.
And, into the 13s, young Sam Williams, I think, is going to be a little champion when he gets going. So, there's some talent there for sure.
Especially, mate, the way judging by Diesel's young lad on Facebook the other day, showing him slogging all those sixes too, eh? good to see
him. When he grows up and gets a bit stronger.
Exactly. Let's hope for his sake he can be taller than his old man, eh? In saying that, mate, like say it's we've been quite lucky in having Diesel coach the kids, then having this year in his first time Andy Billington, plus yourself and Brendo. Look, do you think we've got quite a good batch of coaches looking after the juniors at the moment?
Oh, definitely. And it was good. Obviously we had a change of coach in the 14s there. Cliff had to step down for his own personal reasons, and it was fantastic that Andy put his hand up to fill the role, and, Andy's got a lot of cricket experience, and so I think he'll be good for that side. And obviously, you can't, Greg Williams, look at the coaching experience he's had, and for me, stepping into the 15s and then Brendan there in the 17s with a couple of wonderful assistant coaches in yourself and also G. Purcell.
Oh, God, listen to this. Christ, you two. When are you playing golf again? Oh, my God. I've never heard anything more sick in my life than you two. On the airwaves, too. I mean, it's amazing. But, mate, you're having a look at obviously, you're getting the coaches are getting a lot of help this year, which is obviously fantastic. And you've been working pretty closely with, the senior groups and that. Is there any players that are particularly putting in a bit of time to come down and help some of those younger guys?
Oh, I think there's a lot of the guys turn up a little bit earlier for training because obviously we train on the same nights, and there's plenty of them that are prepared to walk around and have a chat to the younger fellas and give them a bit of advice. So I wouldn't really point out anyone in particular, but I reckon there's probably a handful of them that have kicked off the season that way. So looking forward to some more input from them as we get into the season.
No, definitely, mate. And like you said earlier, I think bringing the two closer together is the only way forward. I mean, the guys have to know that they're especially the young guys, these blokes who are playing A grade, and they're the blokes that they look up to, wanting to emulate in a couple of years' time. So that's good, mate, from your point of view, that at least we're doing that because it's so, so, so vitally important.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, mate, also, we've had some fairly, a lot more input probably this year from the head coach and also from the head coach's son who's helping out, and then Jimmy DiCarlo. How have you found that this year with having Wayne trying to help the integration along as well?
Yeah, look, it's, Wayne's input's valuable, and, we take that on board as coaches. Obviously we've got our own ideas, and, we don't want to be robots and just told how we've got to run things, but obviously you've got some good ideas, and we'll take that on board and implement that where we can. And, it's good to have the two assistant coaches there. Obviously a little bit younger than the coaches, and hopefully interact a little bit better with the players and sort of can understand them a bit more, maybe.
Mate, mate, I'll tell you right now, you are a fantastic speaker because you've actually helped us out a hell of a lot tonight, mate. Mate, just quickly, you're not the best looking Thorn, obviously Sam is, but the quick question that I've got for you here tonight, mate, going forward, are you going to be a future president?
Oh, mate, anything's possible.
Mate,
hey,
you're great.
Mate, also, just a quick question I need to really find out your answer on. Mate, Western Bulldogs, mate, what's going on down there, seriously?
Oh, mate, you tell me.
Hey, I think
I'll be happy with a straight swap, Tom Boyd for Ryan Griffin. I'll take that.
Is that what it was?
Well, it hasn't come out yet, but that's the talk at the moment.
I know you were trying to chase Lonergan from us, mate, from Geelong, so I'm glad you didn't get him.
No.
But, mate, honestly, thank you very much for coming on tonight. Purcell's got one last question for our great Thorny.
Mate, just want to say a bit of a thanks, mate, for also a couple of things, also helping out, and also thanks again for sponsoring the club this year, mate. We really do appreciate that. Without guys such as yourself helping out with sponsorship and that, things can be a bit of a struggle at the club, mate. So just from us here at Roos News, we just want to say thanks for that.
Pleasure, mate. And anyone that knows me knows that when I get involved with something, I definitely have a crack and don't do it half-assed. So, yeah, pleasure.
Mate, and I can also say thank you for the help with the clothes as well this year firsthand, mate, because without you, might have all fallen a bit of a heap. Jimmy DiCarlo doing a great job, but Thorny, thank you for all your help, mate, and you're a great man to have at the club, and we're very lucky to have got you to our club, mate, and it's your club, and it's great to have you there.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Bye, mate.
Bye. Yeah, there he is, Darren Thorne. Great club man, like I say, been around a few years now, and look, very, very, very astute business person as well, which is always love to have those people around the club. Helps make the club make the right decisions and keep us moving forward.
No, and they're a great family too. Obviously, we joked around then about his beautiful wife and and the kids and that, but it's great to have them at the club. And I mean, the thing is, what people don't know a lot about Thorny, obviously, which you just touched on there, Percy's a very successful businessman in his own right, and he's also had a lot to do with the Kingsley Woodvale Cricket Club previously before. The boys obviously coming through and coming over to us. So he's had a fair bit to do in that administration side, which is obviously great for Norm, and, to have blokes like this on the committee and helping out around the club can only help push us in the right direction. And they're the sort of blokes you want around the club. Like he just said then, he doesn't do things half-assed. And I think that's a really important thing with him, because he does grab the bull by its horns, and whether it was like this year with the clothes, or whether it's something to do with, sponsorship, helping out the club, anything like that, helping out, being there to cook snags, doing anything at all, Thorny's always one of those blokes that's done that.
Yeah, look, it's great to see. And the more of those guys we have around the club, the better it's going to be for everyone concerned, isn't it? So, like I say, mate, puts his heart and soul into it, which is all we can ask, isn't it?
Definitely, mate. Now, that's all we've got time for tonight. IJ, as I said, you want to chuck something in there, Ian?
Mate, last week was cut off early, I've got to say, and I just wanted to have a quick little shout-out to my very, very lovely fiancée and my very, very lovely daughter. Hopefully everything's well at home, guys.
Mate, that's lovely. And, yes, you've told me all week that I basically cut you off and ruined your week.
You did. We did. Pretty much went home and almost got blacklisted. Wasn't allowed to hold the baby, nothing.
Mate, it's one of those sort of things. I do apologise.
Mate, how was the birthday during the week?
Yeah, very good.
Get up to much?
Yeah, no, mate. Copious amounts of beverages and enjoyment, but all very good, mate, and thoroughly enjoyed it, mate. And I don't really want to think about now being in my mid-30s.
That's right. Officially in your mid-30s. Been looking like it for the last 5 years, but officially in your mid-30s, eh?
You only think 5. I reckon a few blokes might say to you that it might be a bit longer than that.
Trying to be polite, mate. One that looks like me has to try and be polite to his friend.
What a great man you are too, mate.
Thanks, mate.
All right, now, guys, that's all we've got time for tonight on Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. Guys, we just want to say a quick thanks, and we can never thank these people enough, our all-important sponsors. Without them, obviously, the club doesn't run. We rely on them so heavily each year, and we really appreciate it. We can't give a great deal back, but what we do, we try to give back in spades. And as I said, thank you very much to the following. Urtec with Gavin Miller, Northside Residential, Andrew Amos there. They're our 2 gold sponsors. Stella Premium Services, Cliff Estelle. Sunwise Outdoor Living with Robbie Fairchild there, another club stalwart. Hardin East and Conti, Murray McGee. MTM Physiotherapy. Well done, Dave.
Speech therapy?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I need. And that's Brad Hart there at MTM Physiotherapy. Jets Wanneroo, and that's Casper, the all-important Casper. Subway in Madley, David Britz, and without that, the boys wouldn't have any lunch or anything to eat at tea. Resource Instrumentation, the great Sir Darren Thorne, who was just on the radio waves just a short time ago. Thank you again, Darren. Phoenix Insurance Brokers, and that's Shane Kaiser. Total Industry and Safety, Sean Bennett. ADL Electrical, Andrew Lucas, Club Legend. Thank you, Andrew. JC Pastoring, Joel Carney there. And Liquor Barons Greenwood for all your alcohol beverage needs with Chris and Karen DeZotis. Thanks very much, guys. Have a great week, and we'll be back with you next Monday. Thank you, and we'll be back soon. Bye, guys.